NXT on tour in Florida, the Citrus Circuit, the Coconut Loop, Havert L Fenn Center in Fort Pierce, near Port St. Lucie, there's a reason, and that's home to WWE NXT superstar Jaida Parker. And it's so much fun because being so close to home when you're coming for these shows, what was it like when you found out that NXT did some touring and they were going to be in Fort Pierce?
I was nervous at first, but it was great because this was one of my first shows when I first started out, and it was great because I like hometown support from my family and everything, so it was great.
How did you make your transition? Because you really were a star soccer player at a very high level, and we'll get into that in a little bit, but what was that like making the transition to professional wrestling? A very tough physical endeavor. For those that don't know, just think, oh, you just went out there, do this. No, there's a lot involved. What was it like for you to make that transition? Did you know about it going in? And what was it like those first few weeks?
The transition, it wasn't bad. Like the physical aspect of it was not bad at all because I grew up with my older brother. So wrestling was like in the blood. I got used to it, but it was a different transition from soccer because it's so like team oriented, and here it's you versus you. You know what I'm saying? So that transition took me a little minute, but when I got going, I got going.
What was it like in the ring for the first time and just going off those ropes and taking bumps and the mat and things like that?
I feel like I was a kid in like an obstacle course, honestly. But it's a different type of speed between soccer and getting in this ring, but I made it work, so it was just fun.
What made you decide, hey, I love soccer, I love sports, this is something I want to do too, or I want to give this a shot?
I decided to choose this over the sport that I grew up playing my whole life because it was my time to give it up, and I knew God had a plan for me, I just didn't know what it was. And I moved out of Florida for a reason, and I was just like, no, I don't want to go back, and God was like, no, I'm going to place you in Orlando. And which is great because that's where I used to play all my soccer tournaments at, and I was like, I'm supposed to be here for a reason, and now I know why. But that's why I chose it.
Wide World of Sports Complex?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Many good soccer tournaments out that way. Yeah, Florida.
And softball tournaments, too.
Softball, too. That is so interesting because then I was reading a little bit about your softball background, and I'm like, whoa, she could have maybe started in softball, too, playing on national world teams, championships, and everything like that. But your family, if we talk about your family some, mom and dad, your brother, uncle, were very active in sports. Was that something when you were little that was just part of, hey, the mantra of the family, get you involved in sports?
Yeah, my parents never pushed me to be in sports, like ever. They let me just have my fun, and I just started kicking the ball, because my brother first played soccer, and when I was like 3, I just started kicking the ball, and then that's when it started. So it happened naturally. I wasn't forced to do anything.
But how cool is that the family was involved in sports, and then you're involved in sports?
It's a blessing and a curse, because, you know, you have people to live up to and like expectations and all of that, but it allowed me to have a chip on my shoulder every time I got on the field. And
now, I know this is hard to say, because it is, but I don't know, and people would know, but in your mind, when did soccer really take off for you where you knew, hey, I'm pretty good at this thing?
Middle school. Yeah, it was a lot of middle school, because I realized the team that I was on, we were so athletic and we were just so talented. And I was like, I can go somewhere with this. And in middle school, I was looking at colleges by that time, and it was just like, you're trying to get in touch with college coaches, even in like 6th, 7th grade. Like, that was just what it was, because that's what I wanted to do.
And colleges, you end up going to LSU, a premier SEC school. By the way, we'll get into that too. So many SEC athletes in WWE. Yeah. I think WWE has some type pipeline to the SEC. I don't know. I'm just saying. Come on. What about the ACC? What about some of the others? No. So for you, when you were going to make that decision, I'm curious. Was Florida State in there? Was Duke in there? Were Notre Dame? Were there any other big players in there? What was going on?
There were big players in there. I just knew I wanted to get out of Florida. And I wanted to go somewhere where my family hasn't been before, because I wanted to make my own footprint. I was very interested in Alabama. Like, that's all I knew, because my dad is a Bama fan, like born and raised Bama fan. But I wanted to be like, no, Tiana went here. You know what I'm saying? Because no one in my family has gone there before. and that's what I wanted to do, so I picked LSU. And it's like, it's a funny story how that happened, because I knew I wanted to go there when I was 9. When I saw them on TV, like my parents would tell you this story. Since then I knew I wanted to go there for college. Yeah.
When you decided to go to LSU, and I believe you majored in kinesiology?
Kinesiology, and then I switched it to business administration to work with sports and all that, agency and everything.
And you got your degree. Because I was going to ask you about your degree. And what was the mindset? Okay, soccer, pro wrestling, WWE. What else was there a mindset for you career-wise, or even using your college degree?
I was going to use it to be a sports agent. Like, I was a part of a sports agency, and I was an intern for them for a while, especially during COVID, because I had to do it for my requirements. But I ended up loving that side of sports. But I really got into it so I could negotiate my own contracts, so I can understand that business side, so I'm not getting screwed over. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to be able to handle my own business and not have to depend on anybody else sometimes. I trust myself. But I was also going to get into like physical therapy, and I became an athletic trainer. Not athletic trainer, I was a sports fitness trainer. And I fell in love with that, but this opportunity came up, by God's blessing, and it has everything that I love to do inside of it.
About the opportunity, I was curious, were you part of WWE's NIL program, or no?
No, I wasn't.
You were not. So how did you hear about a tryout, or how did that come to be for you? Or did somebody see you?
Social media. They reached out to me through social media, and I thought it was a prank at first. I was like, no, this isn't real. And my manager at the time was like, no, this is real. So I sat down with my parents, and I was like, I want to do this. And took it from there.
Wow, and it's in Orlando. You had to come to Orlando because that's where the state-of-the-art WWE Performance Center, Matt Bloom, Sarah Amato, Norman Smiley, Terry Taylor, HBK, it could go on and on and on. There's so many greats that are there and all. It's a really cool place and really developed a lot of talent.
Yes.
So you're going there. Was it a little bit also awestruck because of all the top talent that was coaching? How do you, so you're not like, oh my God, and not getting that fan mode rather than being there to work?
Right, I was inspired, especially with Sarah Amato, because she's amazing. Like, as a coach, just seeing her work and then having her as a coach was just like, oh, that's why you are who you are. You know, and I'm even working with Norman, all the other coaches there, amazing. Yeah, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, and have a little fangirl moment, but at the same time, they're there for a reason, and it just inspires me to push myself to be better in that ring. Yeah.
And when you're in that ring, and you're here, when you come to Fort Pierce for the Havert L Fenn Center, what is it like having family there outside the ring? And listen, the group you're with, Out the Mud, OTM,
Yes.
right? Bronco, Lucian, Scripps. So you're with that group. They're not that well liked right now. So are you hearing some cheers? You're not supposed to, I mean, I'm not saying what fans are supposed to do, but you know what I'm saying. Like, and all of a sudden you're, yay!
Yeah, I feel like it's a part of it. That's part of the business. You're going to get booed. If you're not hated, you're not doing something right. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I go with it. But I love coming here and seeing my family because it's like I'm home. And I get to show them. I left as this little girl, TT, and I came back as a grown woman, Jaida Parker. You know, like, that's just, it's a full circle for me, and I love coming back here.
But are you telling them before him, listen, I know you love me, but boo me tonight, boo me, please?
I can't help it. I try to talk trash, I try to, but my biggest haters are the little kids, and I love the little kids.
That is so true, because I was at a show, and you're there, and all of a sudden, they're yelling, and you just right back at them. You're pointing at them, and you're yelling at them, and talking trash back to them.
I have a little nephew. I know how to talk trash to a little kid. Like, I'm not scared of that.
So it's not only adults, the kids too. Right? Was that like, but for soccer, LSU, was there a little trash talking going on, or was that more or less, no.
All the time, especially on the field. But I grew up talking trash, so it's like, you have to be able to talk and back it up at the same time, so I just brought it here with the little kids.
Oh, it's just such a great evolution. It's just such a great journey there, because all these things that you've gone through in your life all sort of like just blended into what you're doing now, which is so cool.
And I love it, yeah. So
now, when you're on these shows, not just here, but all over Florida, and then obviously wanting to get on the NXT Tuesday show, 8 p.m., USA Network and all, for you, is that the goal right now, rather than championships and titles? What is the goal for you? Because you're still very early in your career.
I am. The goal right now is to have Jaida Parker's name in every room before I step like, oh, I don't care if I have a shot at the title. If I don't have a shot at the title, I don't care if I win or lose. You're gonna know who I am at the end of the day. Be like, yeah, I'm not trying to get in the ring with her because I know what's gonna happen.
Well, I'll tell you what, a big thing already coming up for you, NXT Battleground. Sunday, June 9th, UFC Apex in Vegas, the home of UFC, and you're going to be part of the inaugural NXT Women's North American Title Tournament. Just being involved with that, not going all the behind the scenes, but just being involved in it.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you? Just what you said before, but what does that mean to you? Because this is amazing, and Lash Legend's already in it, Fallon Henley, Saul Luca's already in it, and there's 2 more, I believe, that are going to be in it as well, which we don't say yet.
No.
But right. But I'm just curious, just having that spot, having that moment, what does that mean to you right now, even?
It's adding more fuel to the fire, if that makes sense. Like, even though we don't know if spots are secure, like, there's nothing really set in stone right now, just to have the opportunity is like, okay, everything is paying off right now, but I'm going to make sure it pays off when my name is called to be a part of that.
Well, you've already just achieved so much, and you're achieving more, and you're still very young. When you were at high school, Jensen Beach High School, go Falcons. Just right, not far from here, and you're there, you're playing soccer there. I think, tell me if I'm wrong, see, you've got a little bit of attitude, which I like. So I'm going to say this. I think you're the most famous person right now, even right now, from Jensen Beach High School. Am I not? I think there was somebody with the Mets or something. That doesn't count. Mets don't count. So I don't know.
There's someone like in the NFL.
There's someone in there. But come on. But it's not, you could become the most famous person at Jensen Beach High School, the most famous Falcon.
Yeah.
Talk to the students at Jensen Beach High School, and they're like, just crazy. How much fun would that be, though? Or how much fun was it for you at Jensen Beach High School?
It was fun because I was with my dad all 4 years. Like, he was my coach, my parent, and my teacher. So I was never off track in high school. It kept me focused. But it was so much fun because I learned who I was because I was stuck under my brother's shadow because of where he went to high school and everything. So being able to be put in a new environment, I had a clean slate. And it was just, I took my advantage of it.
Your brother played football, Florida A&M?
He did.
Rattlers?
Becker, yes.
Yeah, and Becker too. So he had the football background. Mom and dad, what sports did they play?
My dad played basketball and football, and my mom played basketball.
West Alabama University? Yes.
Yes.
The athletic background. And then I think that is incredible, first of all. But I think this is really cool. Uncle Jason, Chicago Bulls, with Michael Jordan? Come on. That's so cool. Now, well, first question, have you met MJ?
No. No, I haven't.
When you heard about that, though, just what were your thoughts? Because you're an athlete, your whole family's athletic, and he was a pretty good ball player, too, reading up about him and all. It wasn't just like he was last man on the bench or anything. He was pretty good and everything like that. Is that another thing that inspires you, too?
Yeah, it inspires me, but it's also like a catch-22 because I'm like, okay, he went that far, how much further can I go? You know, and that's how, I love him to death, but it's like, okay, let me show you this real quick. You know, like, that's just how I use it. I love him, but at the same time, my name's going to be just as high as yours, if not higher.
That is so great. That is so amazing and all, and a great way to look at it. And now, Jensen Beach High School, Wendy's, Heisman, high school nominee.
I won it.
You won it. Forget that. What am I saying, nominee? I need to do better homework, everybody. She won it. Forget that. She won, which is a really prestigious award. Then you're playing high school for Jensen Beach, but also Lakeland FC, yes. Space Coast United, and
Wellington. I played down south for a while, just to guest play with them, just to get my name out there and play with different teams, different talents, and all that. I was just trying to get better.
Get better, and then you end up on the United States Under-17 national team. What was that experience like and being there? And when that happens, do you think like, hey, Olympics, yeah, this is reality, or did you already think that?
Olympics that's like a goal I've always wanted to reach, but being able to say like I was a part of that team was like a dream come true to little me, because my whole life I was just like, I want to represent the country. Like, I want to be able to be like, I'm this professional soccer player that plays for her country, and I can do this and I can do that. So it was just, I'm like, okay, check, what do we do next? Like, how do I maintain this? You know what I'm saying? So it was a dream come true.
What was it like when that dream ended for you? Was it easy to get over that and then transition to pro wrestling or something else, or did it take some time, a little bit of time to get over it?
When I didn't get called back to be on the next team, my heart broke because I feel like I let myself down and I felt like I let my parents down. And yeah, it took me a while to get over it, but it kept me going because it brought in another hustle that I've never felt before, and it pushed me to get to where I needed to be today.
I think we learn more from the failures than we do from the successes and all. It really is. And you see the strength inside of you. Okay, so we'll wrap this up. A couple more questions. I just think it's so interesting and all. So the part that you said that is really interesting to me now is about being an agent, a sports agent. So you can do a thing. Yeah. So we don't want to get you too much trouble here. We don't. No, I don't want to get you in any trouble. This is good and all like that. But I'm thinking maybe you'll have future clients here. So you never know. No. Yeah, maybe, or we'll see. We'll see what happens. Well, like I said, I want to please everybody. I don't want to get in trouble. So, and then I'm just curious, like for you, what things about this profession do you enjoy so far?
The creative aspect of it. I'm not put in a box. Like they literally say like think outside the box. You know what I'm saying? And it allows me to be a little kid again with my imagination, like different moves that I used to do with my brother, like in the living room. You know what I'm saying? And I get to bring them to life in front of my family to be like, look what we did together. You know? So it's just that creative aspect is my favorite part of it.
Did you ever get to go to any shows when you were growing up? So this part of it, just being live, is new to you in that sense, because you see it on TV and watching the events and all like that. What was it like that first time then, being out in front of a live crowd?
Different, but one of the best experiences I ever had in my life. It's electric. I don't know how to explain it, but that's a feeling I wish everybody could experience because it's life-changing, honestly.
Jensen Beach High School, we'll wrap it up with this. Anyone there, teachers, friends, coaches, anyone else that just come to mind that are like, oh, give a shout out to or something, putting you on the spot.
She retired. Her name was Connie Dame. She was the special need teacher that I used to work with because I loved working with her. My dad still is there. Coach Nate, he was with the lacrosse team. And then my advisor, her name was Miss Ollie, but she's not there anymore. So if I could give a shout out to them, it would be them.
That is so cool. And now, last question. Is there any teammate or soccer foe, I shouldn't say foe, opponent, I'll say opponent, or soccer opponent you could have seen trying out for WWE? I'm thinking someone tough. I'm thinking this size, it's got to be someone that like get under your skin a little bit and all. Did you have that rival player? Was there any rival player?
I did, but I don't like giving free credit.
You don't want to give credit to the rival player. We're going to forget it. We're not going to give credit to any rival players.
It's about them. It's about me.
That's exactly right. It is. So forget them. Social media for fans for you?
My social media is Jaida.Parker WWE for Instagram as well as my Twitter.
And did you like the Snickers commercial with the Street Profits and the OTM in it?
No, I didn't.
And tell me why, because that's what I was going to get to. I have to end it with this. That's right. I was going to get to, that was my rant. I always have one rant, but not a bad one. But I'm telling you. I went, tell me why, because I know why.
Because they was roasting my people. Like, no, because I would not allow that. No.
Not only that, Jada, but you weren't in it. You were not in it. You should have been in it. Come on. I don't care when they filmed it. You still should have been in it.
I appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.